I'm passionate about any animal. It doesn't have to be marine, it can be terrestrial as well. But when first seals, I love dogs, I love Labradors, and I think they are definitely the Labradors of the ocean. But I think any animal that's going to suffer in this way, humans should intervene, because it's an awful way to slowly die like this.
I can't stand the fact that they have to suffer like that. I mean, nobody would let their dogs lie around with something cutting into their necks and things like that, and then just laugh it off. I mean, they're not endangered. Seals aren't endangered, so it's not going to affect them if the odd one dies. But to see them die in that way, it's just terrible. And I've been to the rubbish dump, which really pushed it home, was when I went to a rubbish dump one day where they were dumping off the stuff. And these trucks dumped these plastic bags of food, and probably from restaurants and people's houses. And the pelicans are trying to get the food, but they're swallowing the packets down. There's hundreds of seabirds, and they're all picking in the stuff, and they're getting... Probably if you've left a whole pile of fishing line, string that you've just thrown in the dirt bin without burning it or cutting it, they get around their legs and they live with that. So that was why I really liked doing it, just to help these animals. It happened to be a weekend, and Claire was working on weekend duty, and somebody called for a seal. Claire went down and she had a look.
And I came up underneath the jetty, and there was a seal lying there with a clear white box band. So I leapt out of the water, I ran straight to visitor services here. I begged for a pair of scissors, which they didn't want to give me because I don't tend to return anything ever.
And she ran down again and got on, and she clipped it off, and she was so happy with herself. She was really excited.
I was like, this is it, I was so excited. I don't think I returned a pair of scissors actually at the end of the day, but that was the beginning of that. So then, of course, ran straight to Vincent because we'd been a team like from the very beginning, and Vincent is the MacGyver of MacGyvers, and we started putting together some prototypes of just like really thin pieces of metal with a cutter on the end that you can actually get through the slits and cut the entanglements off, and that was it. Little things we've learned to jump into the water, obviously quite far away from them, very, very quietly, and then always small things like wet your hair, because I think they obviously smell if you washed your hair, or they'll smell you very quickly. So like get harbour water on you, put your hoodie on, put your mask on as well. It just takes the whiteness of one's face away as well. And then you start just making your way really quietly through the jetty. So some of those big floats you have to go underneath. So then it's a case of leopard crawling upside down just along them, it's actually, I find it very peaceful under there, very peaceful. Quietly go along, and then when you come up underneath your seal, it's a case of just holding your breath so that you just come up and everything's just completely quiet because you're within like 5 centimeters of these seals. You can just put your fingers through the slats, through their fur, find your entanglement without them waking up. They're snoring away. And often you can maneuver the seal just by like scratching him, and then you'll roll over until the loose side's exposed, and then it's an easy cut. And often if they did wake up, they would like get cross and bark at the seal next door, like leave me alone, and then go back to sleep. And you're already, on your way with your entanglement. It's hard to tell where that noose came from, but the things we're taking off most are box bands. They're doing horrible things, and then the fishing gut. That is awful. The box band is actually quite a nice tool to take to schools and to show actually your like really smart PlayStation and your TV set are covered in box bands, and everything that's in the middle of Rondebosch will still end up in the sea. So easy for seals, being inquisitive and playful, just swim through. There are some animals you get to which it's really grown in, like the whole line is overgrown, and you just see like two tiny pieces of prong sticking out of the neck here, and that, no matter how close you are, there's just no way you're going to get that off. And those are the ones that just haunt you. And that's just going to be a horrible death somewhere. So those are the ones that I just kept coming back saying, there must be another way. There must be another way to get these animals. This is one of the really nasty ones. So you can see if it was just one, we might be able to get it through the slats, but it's looking like 1, 2, 3, and that one looks so tight that this is an animal that we would probably most likely have to dart, and that animal's not in good condition at all. I actually haven't got that seal out of my mind. And that was the one I came back, I walked straight into our curator's office, Marika. I said, there has to be someone who's darting seals around.
Formal mode. I said to them, like, I know somebody at the end of the day, as a vet, specializes in anesthetics and sedation, and he's completely, gets so excited about everything. So I said to Claire, chat to Brett.
This is where you'll be looking for your pressure. So then what you're going to do is bring it up, turn your safety. There we go.
What's going to happen?
Nothing, it's going to make a sound. Slowly press it. Killer shot, huh? Well done.
Historically, people believe that you can't dart seals when they're near water, and this is not really untrue because there is a pretty good chance there's water right there, and if you give anesthetic, they're going to drown. So historically, that used to be true for seals, hippos, and a variety of other creatures, but our drug technology and our understanding of physiology has come a really long way in the last few decades.
Okay, there's no one in the line of sight, so we should be good.
You can't be doing this to an animal without legitimate reason that you're going to potentially improve its quality of life, because there inadvertently is going to be a risk to it. And so even though we do a lot of planning, in the back of my mind I'm always thinking, is this going to be the one that comes back and bites me in the arse and potentially doesn't make it through the procedure or something goes wrong? So even though we do a lot of pre-planning and we ensure that we've got adequate divers and adequate watercraft, you always wonder when you see that seal disappearing under structure and you think, I hope it doesn't snag. Is it going to breathe? Are we going to be able to get it out in time? And well, yeah, touch wood, we do, but every single time you're wondering, I hope this is going to work. Yeah, really the worst thing for me ever would be to try and help a seal for something and then end up actually harming or killing the seal by doing it.
Brandon, you got visual?
There he is, yeah. Levels. Got under. There he is, he's just popped up.
Slowly approach. Gentle. Don't grab him tight. See what happens when you hold on to the front. Swim out to us. 2, 3. There we go. Okay. The quieter we work, and the less we touch it, the more it stays asleep. Big enough. 3.
Like up, boy.
The people that work at Two Oceans Aquarium, I think after they've done this training now and sort of been exposed to the techniques, this is going to fly. There's so much enthusiasm and passion amongst them for the seals.
They're just so incredibly passionate about what they do, and to them that's normal. You know, that's what they do every day. It's never effort. They love what they do.
So this new method of being able to dart animals will never replace what we're doing, because it's still far better to just actually not disturb the animal. But it will help with the animals that we've missed, and I think I've got to remember now after such a successful week that I'm still walking away thinking of only the animals that we haven't got, which is good and bad, because it's a huge success, but there are so many that we've seen this week that we're going to have to still get to.
The people, they love watching, and when they see what you're doing, and then they all applaud and clap and carry on. And then you just mention to them, you know, any loop, rope, string, box band, just if you have to throw it away, just cut it. Even if, you know, if you're not disposing of it properly, at least just cut it.